I got home from the shop around 6. The house was quiet except for the dryer thumping. Lauren stood at the kitchen island staring at her phone like it owed her money. I stepped up, put an arm around her back, the same arm that's rebuilt half the neighborhood's decks, and waited for the usual 2-second lean into me. Nothing. Not even a twitch. Her shoulders didn't register I existed. Hey, I tried. She didn't look up. There's quinoa in the pot. Not a hello. A half shrug. I'm busy. If I'd known where it was headed, I would have dropped my bag, called it right there, and saved a month of theater. But some part of me still believed in a warm version of us. I set my lunch cooler on the counter, opened the pot, scooped the beige mash into a bowl, and ate standing up. She took a photo of shoes on her phone, some glossy, gold-trimmed nonsense. How much are those? I asked. They're on sale, she said. Sale where the number goes up? She rolled her eyes. You're being dramatic. You're shopping. We just paid property taxes. She finally glanced over. The look said I was a problem, not a partner. I'm not asking permission. Good, I replied. Because the household budget isn't asking either. She locked the phone. So now you're policing what I wear? I'm protecting what we built. I'm done funding impulse buys. Her face hardened. You don't get to decide. I rinsed the bowl. That's cute. Watch me. I put a printed sheet on the counter. Numbers, categories, dates. I'd run the math at lunch and brought it home. My handwriting was on it, big block letters, because I wanted zero confusion. She looked at it like it was a parking ticket. What's this, a chore chart? It's the new spending plan. Mortgage, utilities, groceries, insurance, already covered. I'm setting aside a daily amount for you. Cash, no tracking. It's more than fair. She laughed once, short, ugly. You're giving me an allowance? I'm drawing a line. We have goals. You can do what you want inside real numbers. I'm not a teenager. Act like a partner then. We're not swiping the debit card every time boredom hits. Her jaw pulsed. You think this makes you strong? No. It makes me sane. She slid the paper back with one finger. You can post your little spreadsheet on the fridge next to the grocery list, Dad. Tomorrow, I said, I'm moving our accounts out of joint debit and into auto-pay plus cash. We'll both have our own day-to-day money. You never have to hear me say a word if you stay within your number. You're serious. Serious enough that it's already set up. She stared. I let the silence hang. The dryer thumped. Somewhere a dog barked. She opened her mouth, closed it, then dropped the phone face down. I'm not discussing this right now, she said. I'm meeting Denise. Then read it later. Rules don't care if you're late. She grabbed her keys. You're controlling. Call it boundaries. See which one lasts longer. The door shut. I exhaled. I hadn't raised my voice. I had taken the wheel. If she wanted to headbutt rules, she could, but in my house, numbers win. The next morning, I put a slim envelope on her placemat. A week's cash, folded, no speech attached. Coffee brewed. She walked in wearing gym gear and a thin smile like she'd practiced it in the mirror. You did all this overnight? She asked, tapping the envelope. Yep. You really think a few dollars will fix your trust issues? I'm not fixing anything. I'm operating better. She pinched the envelope, weighing it. It's not small. I know. She slid onto the chair, poured coffee for both of us, set a mug in front of me. That wasn't nothing. I might have overdone it lately, she said. Noted. I appreciate the groceries being covered. Good. She sipped. I booked dinner Friday at Cooper's. On me. A peace offering in heels. I'll drive, I told her. Her eyes softened just enough to look like the woman I used to come home to. I wanted to believe that look. At the shop, my foreman Tyler raised an eyebrow when I walked in early. You look like you just taught a toddler what a seatbelt is. Close, I said. New budget at home. Bold. Necessary. He laughed. You gonna survive Friday at Cooper's? I'll order the steak and the silence. Friday night, she played sweet. Hair done. Perfume. Hand on my arm at the host stand. I love that shirt on you, she said as we sat. Thanks. You were right about the monthly plan, she added, letting her hand linger on my sleeve like punctuation. I've been careless. I'm going to do better. Glad to hear it. She picked up the menu, tilted it. You look good tonight. So do you. We ordered. The waitress poured water. Lauren laced her fingers with mine across the table. I don't want money to be a wedge, she said, voice low. We're a team. We are when we act like it. I want to act like it, she said. Then it's simple. She nodded. The smile looked almost tired of fighting. For a moment, I let my guard down half an inch. Maybe this was the turning point. 2 days later, she slid in a new move. I need more, she said over the sink, rinsing blueberries. The daily amount isn't cutting it. For what? Denise's birthday trip, she said. Napa. It's a thing. I can't show up empty-handed. Take 2 days from next week. Or skip the trip. She slammed the colander down. You're humiliating me. No, I said, drying a plate. You're trying to make your wants my emergency. You have the means. I have the means to be responsible. I'm not chasing prestige to keep up with your friends. She laughed in disbelief. You don't get it. I get it fine. Pick your priorities. She shook her head like I was slow. You're turning into the guy who needs a receipt for every breath. I put the plate away, then breathed inside the number. She stared at me a beat too long, then smiled without warmth. Fine, I'll make it work. That smile didn't reach anywhere honest. A puzzle piece shifted in my head. She was adjusting tactics, not changing. 2 nights later, we were at our friend Mark's backyard cookout. Mark's the guy who never misses a chance for a one-liner. His wife Carla is a nurse with the stare of a traffic cop. People milled around with paper plates. Lauren stuck to Denise and another friend, Aaron, all clinking glasses and curated laughter. I was by the grill talking to Mark about roof trusses when Lauren called out from the patio. Hey, she said loud enough to cross the yard. Tell them how you put me on an allowance. Heads turned. A few chuckles. She waved her plastic cup like a conductor. No, really. He printed a chart. Mark grinned, expecting a bit. I looked at Lauren. She had that smug tilt, testing me under lights. That true? Mark asked. It is, I answered. Carla stepped in before anyone could pile on. Sounds smart, she said. We do categories too. Keep stress low. Denise tried to laugh. An allowance, Carla. Listen to that word. It's budgeting, Carla shot back. Adults use numbers. Lauren blinked, surprised. You'd be okay with your husband dictating what you can spend? He's not dictating, Carla said. He's providing structure and covering bills. He said a fair daily amount. That's not control. That's respect for the house. Aaron looked at me. How much is fair? Enough to cover normal life, I said. More than enough if you're not collecting trophies. Mark pointed with his tongs. Look, I run payroll. If one department blows cash on nonsense, the whole company pays. Marriage is a company. You don't like the budget? Bring in more revenue. People laughed, then hummed in agreement. Not with Lauren. She tried again. So you all think it's normal for a man to pay the bills and then hand you tip money like you're a waitress? Carla's voice went flat. I think it's normal for a partner to stop lighting cash on fire when the mortgage is due. Denise looked away, sensing the wind shift. Aaron shrugged. Honestly, I'd take someone covering the big stuff any day. I didn't gloat. I didn't need a crowd to validate me. But I did go on record because I wanted no gray zones. For the record, I told them, wiping my hands on a napkin, this isn't about control. It's about clarity. I won't bankroll status purchases while I'm caulking windows I paid for. If that makes me the villain, I'll wear the cape. Mark smirked. Budget Batman. Whatever keeps the lights on, I said. Lauren's jaw tightened. She sipped, looked around, realized her audience wasn't buying the act. The conversation broke into side talk, but the message was set. She'd tried public pressure. It didn't stick. I took the initiative on foreign territory, as my old football coach would have called it. Before we left, I pulled Mark aside. Next time there's a group thing with big checks, seat me with you for the tab. You expecting a stunt? I'm expecting sanity. I'll handle my part. You got it, he said. In the car, Lauren let silence sit until the first stop sign. Then, you enjoyed that. Enjoyed what? Being the reasonable one while I looked crazy. I didn't enjoy anything, I replied. I stated a boundary. Your attempt to embarrass me failed because adults in the yard understand money. She laughed with no humor. You're impossible. No, I said. I'm done being soft. A week later, the soft act came back with homemade pancakes. She never cooked breakfast midweek. She set a plate down. I miss us, she said. Do you? I'm sorry about bringing up the allowance at Mark's. That was cheap. It was. I get why you're strict. I've just been off. I'm trying. I appreciate that. I put the credit cards in the drawer, she added. Haven't touched them. Good. Would you maybe loosen the daily amount a little? Just a little? I'll stay within it. No, I said. We run this plan for 2 months. No tweaks. We either build trust or we don't. She inhaled like she might argue, then nodded. 2 months. Okay. For 2 days, she acted like the partner I married. Then Tuesday, I finished a job early. I drove home at 4 instead of 6. Her car was in the driveway. Inside, the dishwasher hummed. I heard her voice in the den, low and warm, the way she used to talk to me when I was the best thing in her day. Baby, listen, she said. I just need to get more out of our split. He has to think I changed. He has to soften. Then I file. He won't see it, and he won't fight it. Silence. Then a male voice, muffled. I didn't catch the words, but the tone was intimate, confident. Familiar like a pair of shoes under someone else's bed. She chuckled softly. Yes, I'm sure. He's predictable when he feels appreciated. I stood in the hallway, looking at a framed photo from our first summer, a cheap picnic and a county fair. I didn't feel my stomach drop. I felt everything go sharp. I didn't walk in. I didn't say a word. I backed out like a technician leaving a clean room. In the driveway, I sat in my truck for a long minute, hands on the wheel, then drove to the gym and ran until my head cleared. At home, she was chopping onions for tacos, face all innocence. You're early, she said. Job finished. She smiled, practiced again. Perfect. I was about to text you. Eat with me. Sure. We ate. I logged every detail. How she overplayed sweet, how she asked 3 times about my day, how she laughed at a joke that wasn't funny. I nodded in the right places. I didn't tip my hand. After dinner, I went to my office and made 3 calls. First to a private investigator I'd used once on a background check for a hire. Hale, ex-cop, no theater. Second to an attorney my buddy Rick recommended when he went through a quiet split. Patel, direct, zero fluff. Third to Rick himself, a financial consultant who treats numbers like mountain ropes. Hale answered with a cough. Who's the target? My wife's schedule for the next 2 weeks, I said. Name of the guy? Places. Times. I need a clean file. Photos, locations, call logs if you can get them legally. Discreet. Like I'm not a client. Got it. Patel called back within 30 minutes. Tell me what you know. I overheard a plan, I said. She's prepping to put me in a fog, then file, then go for assets. I want to file first. I want all paperwork tight. I want to move assets into protected accounts. I want to shut down joint leakage. I'm not playing games. Good, she replied. We'll do this quietly. I'll email forms tonight. Don't confront. Don't hint. Keep usual routines. And stop direct transfers. Move your payroll to a separate account you control. Already in motion. Smart. I'll draft a proposed agreement that keeps the house and business tools in your column. We'll be fair enough to pass scrutiny, but firm. You'll serve her when you're ready. Appreciate it. Rick texted, come by at 7 tomorrow. I'll have the paperwork. I walked back into the den. Lauren was on the couch watching a show about couples renovating houses they shouldn't have bought. You good? She asked. Fine. She patted the cushion beside her. Come sit. I sat. I let her rest her head on my shoulder. I let her believe the script was working. That was my new initiative. Play along while I rewired everything behind the walls. Over the next week, Hale delivered. Photos of Lauren at a wine bar with a mid-level sales guy I'd met once at a charity thing. A name. Times. Screen calls at odd hours. Hotel lobbies where nobody orders coffee. Nothing salacious. Just enough to confirm the voice I heard and the pattern she was setting. Patel sent drafts. Clean, calm, thorough. I signed where needed. She filed. Quietly. Service timed for later. Rick moved my auto-pay accounts under a business structure I owned alone before marriage, assets protected within the rules. He did it by the book. Nothing shady, nothing flashy. Just smart. Once she gets paper, Rick said, she'll call you a lot of names. She can shout at my voicemail, I replied. On the home front, Lauren cranked the sweetness. Dinners. A little hand on my neck while I read the news. Touch without depth. Twice she murmured, I'm grateful you're patient with me. That was the tell, gratitude deployed like a key. I didn't challenge. I mirrored normal. The anniversary was coming in a month. We'd booked a big family and friends dinner. Long table, speeches, laughs. If I knew her now, she'd use that stage. Tyler noticed I was careful at work. You're either training for a marathon or plotting a chess match, he said over the compressor noise. Both, I said. You look calm. I am. Dangerous, he grinned. The anniversary night landed like a made-for-TV special. We had the private room at a midtown restaurant, dim light, string lights along brick. Family, friends, neighbors. Mark and Carla, Denise and Aaron. My sister Nora flew in from Phoenix and hugged me like she knew something I hadn't said. Lauren arrived on my arm wearing a classic black dress that said, "Perfect wife," to anyone who hadn't sat in our kitchen a month ago. She kissed my cheek and smiled at our guests like she'd been rehearsing. All night, she played the role, refilling glasses, toasting other couples, telling little stories about me fixing the cabinet door that always squeaked. People clapped. It was warm, domestic, the exact tone you use before detonating a public scene. I watched her enjoy the anticipation. It was a little glow at the edges when she thought nobody was looking. I cataloged it. I let her have the stage. That was part of the cost of clarity. Midway through, Mark tapped his glass. Speech time, he announced. Let's hear from the stars. People cheered. Lauren rose, glass in hand, all poise. She started soft. When we first met, she said, he was this stubborn guy with sawdust in his hair who offered to fix a drawer that wasn't broken. Laughter. He made me feel safe, she continued. He built shelves without measuring, and somehow, they were straight. He keeps this house together. More laughter. A few misty eyes from older relatives. She looked at me, eyes glossy. We've had good years. We've made it through lean months and big jobs. He is steady. He's complicated, but steady. I held her gaze. She glowed. And then I saw it. The tiny half smile she uses when she's about to spring a trap and pretend it's mercy. But, she said, voice shifting to something brave and noble. As much as I cherish our time, sometimes loving someone means stepping into a new chapter. Tomorrow I'm filing. It's time for both of us to move forward separately. Chairs scraped. A full second of silence snapped like a cable. Then, what? From Nora. Aaron's mouth fell open. Mark swore under his breath. Someone near the door gasped. Lauren waited for the gasp to roll through. I didn't flinch. I looked at her like we were alone, and I knew the entire map of her plan. She clocked my calm, and something in her expression cracked. I stood. I slipped my card to the manager already hovering at the door. Put it all on me, I told him. Thanks for taking care of everyone. He nodded. Of course. I turned to the room. Thank you for coming, I said bluntly. Enjoy the dessert. Get home safe. Hold on, Nora said, standing. What is happening? It's handled, I told her. Lauren stepped toward me, voice shaky with surprise. That's all you have to say? That's all, I replied. I'll see you around. I wasn't dramatic. I didn't claim a speech. I just walked out, nodded to Mark on the way. He half reached toward me. I shook my head once. He got it. Carla wrapped an arm around Nora before she could chase me. Outside, the night was cool and quiet. I took my truck, drove not to our house, but to a small rental I'd signed for under a short-term lease 2 weeks prior. The key turned easy. The place smelled like fresh paint and no memories. I set my duffel down, opened a cold seltzer, and sat on the edge of the bed. My phone vibrated. Unknown numbers. Her friends. I put the phone face down. The quiet was clean. By sunrise, Patel had arranged service. The packet would land on Lauren's doorstep within days. Rick texted that the last account had been moved to the protected structure. The joint debit had a small balance for immediate groceries. Everything else was walled. I sent a message to Tyler, taking 2 days off. All good. He replied, take the week. We got this. Back at the house later that morning, while she was out, I loaded my tools, clothes, documents into the back of the truck. I left the lawn mower and the furniture I'd built because Patel advised against petty moves. I took what mattered to my life and my work. The day after the dinner, Lauren didn't call. Neither did I. 2 days later, a process server handed her the envelope at noon. I know because Hale sent me a time-stamped photo of her at the doorway, still in workout clothes, surprise freezing her face. That evening, my phone lit up. What is this? She asked when I answered. Her voice was high, brittle. You filed? I did. You blindsided me. You gave a speech, I replied. That was, she caught herself. We could have discussed. You discussed with someone else already. Silence. Then a different angle. I made a mistake with my tone. But the money is protected, I said. The agreement is fair. It reflects reality. You can't. I did, I answered. Read the packet. You're cruel. I'm calm, I said. Learn the difference. Can we meet? She asked quickly. We should talk in person. We need to fix perception. Please. No, I told her. Everything goes through counsel now. This isn't you, she tried. You're right. This is me after I woke up. She cut the call. I slept like a man who'd changed the locks on his own sanity. The next 2 weeks were quiet. I went to work, lifted, ate, answered Tyler's dumb jokes, said yes when Nora insisted on dropping by the rental with lasagna. I told Mark enough to stop him from driving to our house and saying things he couldn't unsay. Carla texted, proud of you for holding the line. Denise sent nothing. That told its own story. I let my life be smaller. Not forever, just as a factory reset. Then, 2 weeks later, Lauren called again. I picked up because I wanted the air cleared. Her voice was thick, like she'd been crying for a while. Can we meet? She asked. Please. Coffee. I'll come to you. What's changed? I asked. I was wrong, she said, words tumbling. I was greedy. I was ungrateful. I let people get in my head. I miss you. I'll say it to everyone. I'll apologize to your sister, to Mark, to anyone. I'll sign anything. Just don't do this. I love you. I leaned against the kitchen counter of the rental, looked at the blank wall, and let a small, humorless laugh out. Let me guess, I said. He walked when he realized there wasn't a payout coming. She went quiet. Nothing. Air. That's what I thought, I added. I've got to get ready for a date. A date, she repeated, stunned. I'm moving forward. You're throwing us away. You did that into a phone in our den, I replied. I didn't mean. You meant every piece, I said. You just misread the ending. I can change. You already did, I said. Twice a week, depending on the restaurant. She sobbed. It was a sound I would have run toward once. I didn't move. Please, she tried. We can fix it. I'll live on half your number. You'll perform, I said. And then you'll plot. That's not fair. It's accurate. She swallowed sound. Can we just talk later? One more time. No, I told her. I'm done auditioning for my own marriage. I ended the call, blocked the number, and stood in the quiet until the only thing I heard was the hum of the fridge. Relief, not victory. Just clean air. A month later, the paperwork finished. No courtroom, no theater. Terms held. She got no path into my tools, my house, or my retirement. She left with her car and a balance that matched fairness, not fantasy. The place we lived in, my house, was mine again, legally and practically. She moved out because she had to. I moved back in because I wanted to. I changed the paint in the den and hung a map where the old photo used to be. Mark showed up with a six-pack that we didn't finish. You paid for the dinner, he grinned. Classy. I paid to walk out clean, I said. Carla hugged me hard. No gloating, she said. Just proud. Nora helped me set up the extra room as a guest room. You're okay, she said, watching me hang the curtain rod. I'm better than okay, I told her. I'm aligned. Tyler asked on a Tuesday if I wanted to grab a burger. I said yes. On Thursday, a friend introduced me to a woman named Maya at a park fundraiser. We talked about dogs and old trucks. No big declarations, no 20-year plan in an hour. Just a normal conversation with a person who didn't see me as an ATM with a pulse. I keep my life tight now. Work, friends, short Saturdays with a trail and a sandwich. If I date, it's with my eyes open. I don't announce budgets to people I just met, but I don't hide my backbone either. Respect is visible without a speech. I heard through someone that Lauren downsized to an apartment near the highway. The friends she used to impress with shopping bags see her less. Denise still posts photos of wine flights. Aaron unfollowed both of us. I don't hate anyone. I just don't have room inside my boundaries for old noise. Sometimes a guy thinks he's supposed to argue his way back into being valued. That's not how it works. You declare your terms, you act on them, and you live with the peace that brings. I didn't win anything. I removed a problem and kept my self-respect. At the restaurant that night, when she tried to turn our years into a stage cue, I paid the bill and left. People called it cold. I call it tidy. The line that closed it, the only